Good morning, Blue Lulus. How are you doing? We all owe one of our best friends an apology, right? The one that you said had the worst taste in men and anybody in the entire world. You were wrong about that. I was wrong about that, because that award goes to the wife of Pee Wee German. Because reportedly, she has left Pee Wee German for Dark Batman. Oh, poor baby. Apparently, Pee Wee German kind of had a hand in this because he sent his wife in to mingle with Dark Batman because he wanted to blackmail him. Read the room, bro. I don't think anybody around there cares about adultery whatsoever. That's just Tuesday for them. And I just love for him that plan backfired horribly. But I really do feel bad for Katie. Katie. I'm so sorry about whatever your dad did or didn't do for you. But honestly, I truly hope and pray that one day you will recognize that you hold inherent worth. And your value is not determined on the aspirations of taking over the world that is taken out by your partners. You and nobody else was sent to this planet just to be an accessory. You're wonderful all by yourself, and true love is being seen and held and cared for by who you really are, not by just being an accessory or a tool for blackmail. I actually do feel bad for her. An appellate court put a temporary stay on the ruling from the international court that was pausing the tariffs, which basically means the tariffs are back on until the case is fully litigated. That's a good thing. We want our appellate process to work because just like the Joker's order on Harvard was temporarily stayed, which allowed them to readmit foreign students, this is temporarily stayed until it can be fully litigated. I know the appellate process could be complicated and annoying, but we actually really do want that process to work. And so we just have to wait and see how it all plays out. A lot of people were really nervous yesterday, though, because they anticipated that the Joker would be doing a victory lap about this on his Joker social, but he didn't say anything yesterday for a solid 18 hours, and that had people kind of shaking in their boots. But remember, that's a thing that narcissists do. When their ego has been bruised, when they've been caught doing something wrong, they go back into their cocoon and they kind of recluse for a little while. Usually when they reemerge, they do something benevolent or they feed some chum to the fishes. So don't worry, he'll be back today. He will do something ridiculously performative and we can expect that. But I do think that the taco thing genuinely hurt his feelings. Before that, though, the last post that he had posted on his Joker social was him like in a dark street wearing a trench coat, and he said, "I'm on a mission from God and nothing can stop what's coming." And in the background of this meme, there was Pepe the Frog. And we know that Pepe the Frog is a symbol for alabaster supremacy. This is surprising to nobody over here, but I think it genuinely is surprising to people that are on his side because a lot of them truly believe that all of his YT supremacy is solely performative. They just go, oh, he's just saying that. He's just whipping people up. But no, he genuinely believes that. He wants conformity for everybody. He honestly doesn't care if you're Christian either. His favorite daughter isn't Christian. Your faith was a useful tool for him. It allowed him to have you suspend your better judgment and replace that judgment with the faith that is intended for God in him instead. And that's been incredibly effective for him so far. But once that veil starts to lift from your eyes, once you're able to see what's really happening, you should say something about it. And when we hear people that do come forward and say that they've been lied to and manipulated, we do have to send them some grace. We do have to open our arms. You don't have to invite them into your house, but I think it's important for us to be kind to the people that are coming to the FO phase. One of the people who did was a Joker supporter who owns a construction company out of Tallahassee. And he did a post yesterday saying that he lost a lot of really good men following a frozen water raid on one of his work sites. And he said, well, you know, I really like the Joker, but I didn't think that this was going to happen. Like, he told us that he was only going to get criminals off of the street and that it wasn't going to be hardworking men. This is going to have a terrible impact on our entire economy. And I don't think that I can support this. I'm really sad. I miss my workers and my friends. They were good people. And I know a lot of us are going to be like, obviously that's what it was about. But for them, I don't think it really is. He did tell them that it was only going to be criminals, but then he promptly tried to suspend habeas corpus so that we can't determine who the criminals really are. This is going to continue to happen if we allow him just to run free and do whatever the heck he wants. Have you noticed the produce in your grocery store? It doesn't look anything like the produce that we had in a pre-Joker America. So while RFK is screaming and yelling about the fact that we have to make Gotham City healthy again, they're removing all of the people who grow and cultivate our healthy foods. It doesn't matter if everything we have is organic if there's nobody there to plant it or harvest it. It doesn't matter if you remove all of the fluoride from the water if you also remove everybody's ability to obtain these little periodic injections, because organic bean sprouts with a side of smallpox just doesn't sound great to me. You know who I'm not willing to extend grace to, though, is Target. And I don't think anybody else is either, because reportedly they have experienced a $500 million shortfall from what they were anticipating in terms of their sales compared to last year. And that's because of their rollback of DEI initiative. Sucks to suck! Turns out we do have money and power and influence in our country. Who'd have thunk? Huh? Conformity will never work. It will never work in the United Places of all of Gotham City, because we are the United Places of all of Gotham City. We could have just been one big chunk. We didn't have to have designated territories, let alone 50 of them. But we do because we value differences in culture, differences in landscape, and the people that are attracted to all of those different places. Our diversity is truly and genuinely what our country was built off of. That's what it's made out of. And no matter how hard you try, you will never be able to make it so that our country is one thing. It's impossible. We were not raised that way. We were not built that way. And you will never succeed. I'm sure about that. If you enjoyed this video, give me a like, comment, and a follow. Join our Blue Clan is nice and cozy over here. And as always, keep your eyes up, keep your feet on the ground. I'll see you next time. Ta-ta!